Our 2 cents.
With Oscar.
Welcome once again to our 2 cents. I should have started with it's the first of the month, hey yo, and I don't even know how the song goes. Anyways, welcome to our 2 cents. It is September the 1st of 2021. We're almost there. The year is almost up. But before the year is almost up, today it is September the 1st, and it is National, if I can find my cursor, National Day. See, this is multiple national days. Today it is. So whatever fits you, this is your day. So Burnt Ends Day, whatever that means, if that's you, that's your day. But let's find out what burnt end. Now I want to know what it is. It is. Are you ready for some flavored and sauced in the National Burnt Ends Day and celebrate the first your barbecue? Nah, so that means you got to just Jesus Christ. That was Sunday for me. I forgot my bacon in the frying pan and it burned, so that would have been perfect for that day, right? It would have, but it wasn't that day. So what we got is, and I erased my thing that I had. Unfortunately, I will not be able to say the rest of the days. Just kidding. It is also National Day. Wait, this one, I find this one a little weird. And I'm conflicted. Let's see if this makes sense to you. So it is National Chicken Boy Day. I don't even know how to take that. Other than my dog eats a lot of chicken and chicken liver. So is that wrong? Anyways, let's find out what National Chicken Boy Day is. On September 1st, National Chicken Boy Day honors the birthday of an interesting statue in California. Celebrate his ceremonial birthday and learn more about his unique creation. The Chicken Boy stands 22 feet tall and holds a bucket of chicken. The fiberglass statue boy with a chicken head can be seen along Route 66. He is named after former 1960 Chicken Boy restaurant, also known as the Statue of Liberty of Los Angeles. He joins, you know what? I'm going to call bullshit on this one. That shit is not true. I don't know. I'm just kidding. It is National Acne Positivity Day. You know, as a teenager, that's a big problem. And as far as the conversation today goes, this is what we talked about today with my friend Steven Ruiz, who we're going to talk today about. Well, we'll get into that. And National No Rhyme, No Reason Day, whatever that means. If that's for you as well. Anyways, welcome back again to our 2 cents. And this is your host. It's a little late, but we're 3 minutes into it already, but it doesn't matter. This is your host, Oscar, and today we are here to talk with my new friend, Steven Ruiz, from the Facebook group Dog Rot Diets and Nutrition. Hit also his IG and TikTok as well. Our conversation when it started with we talked about content creation and you know the usual, like how hard it is and what his experience is, and you know everybody has a different level of hard, I guess. That sounded wrong? I hope not. Also, the main reason why I talked to him is because I came across his TikTok, and you know he was talking about dog nutrition, which I myself have recently I've had dogs. But I guess the care that you put into a Chihuahua, it's different than the care you would put into a German Shepherd or any other big dog. So that being said, excuse me. So that being said, we did talk about the importance of dog nutrition that most of us don't think about. So It's something to think about. Let's feed our dogs because they're like we mentioned in the show. They're technically wolves, but it's a conversation that led to our health, our physical health, and as far as the exercise and what we do, and it was a great conversation with Steven. But I'm not gonna bore you with all the details, so just please go ahead and listen to this conversation. I thought it was wonderful. I had a great time having this conversation. So without hesitation, here it is, my friend Steven Ruiz.
Oscar, how's it
There it
going?
is. Good. Yourself?
Perfect. There we go. I think it's working. You
Yes,
can
it
hear
is.
me. You can see me.
I can see you clearly now.
Okay. Awesome. That's
Hey,
great.
nice to meet you, Steven, right? Correct?
Nice to meet you, Oscar.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. All right. Let's
Yeah.
let's
It's
start
a
off with
pleasure.
introduce yourself. Let us know what you do, why you do it, and please promote your Instagram, TikTok, and all that good stuff too as well, please.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. My name is Steven Ruiz. I live in Texas, and I run a Facebook group. It's Dog Raw Diet and Nutrition, free and open discussion. We have an Instagram. It's Dog Raw Diet, free and open. I'm sorry, Dog Raw Diet and Nutrition. I get confused there. It's a little bit
Yeah,
different.
it's
That's my
Dog Raw.
Instagram handle. And then my TikTok account is Steven Says Stuff.
All right. All right. Cool. Nice to meet you, man. I'm glad you replied because I'm trying to get on this plan on what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get as many content creators as I can, so I can have
Hmm.
a variety of people that have shared what they do, why they do it, and all the good stuff and all the bad stuff and all the hard stuff of doing the content creations, right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And I want to know because when I when I decided that I wanted to do this, what I'm trying to do,
Hmm.
um, it was hard for me to find somewhere to start. And but I now I come to realize that there's you don't really have to be anywhere to start. You just have to start.
That's right.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. That's the first and most important step is just getting started. Yeah.
yeah. When I started with just two little lavalier mics that I just used to hook up to my chest. Me and my friend would just start
Uh
talking
huh.
crap to each other. Those days were fun, but here we are today, right?
Yeah.
But
You got a nice setup. Yeah. That mic. Yeah. That one heck of a mic. And yeah.
yeah, I got me the it's called a Roadcaster. This thing is pretty nice.
Uh huh.
It's pretty much just a recorder that you can hook up different mics to, which is nice. I got like three different mics hooked up to it, but it would be nice if I had if the conversation was in person. But like I said, the point of this is just doing it. But
That's right.
anyways,
Yeah. Yeah.
anyways, I'm not here to talk about this. I was more interested in what you do. Your dog handle is Dog Raw Diet
Which
and Nutrition. That's for
I think I butchered that a while ago. It's a little bit different than my Facebook. Give me 1 second. I should know this. Okay, it's Dog Raw Diet and Nutrition. That's my Instagram handle.
yes, that's
Okay,
the one that I had right here.
and then my Facebook group, which this Instagram is made for the group.
Okay.
Um, the group on Facebook has almost 40,000 members. It's Dog Raw Diet and Nutrition, free and open discussion.
Mm,
So it's that free and open discussion is really what made my group kind of big.
right. You know, the reason why I also wanted to talk to you is because most of us, the average person, just regular people, don't even think about the health of their. I mean, they do think about the health of their animal, but not as far as the nutrients that the dog should be intaking.
Mhm.
Considering what they are, they're literally wolves. The only thing they've become docile as times have gone
Exactly.
and breeds have changed them and all
Mhm.
that. Um, but most of us don't even think about that because I remember as a kid we had a couple dogs here and there, um, but food was not a. But it was not a. I don't want to say important because it is it was important, but it wasn't. And I should say nutrition, and
Mhm.
and for the dog to be getting all the nutrients that they need, it wasn't at the top of the list for anybody. The dog was just at home, and the dog gets whatever dog food is the cheapest. Um,
Exactly. Yeah.
but
A lot of people.
yeah, go on. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's they're like people, they benefit from eating, healthy, natural, real food. A lot of the problems is, people feed kibble. Kibble is super dry. I mean, it's dehydrated. It's the equivalent of eating, trail mix.
Oh,
It's balanced and formulated to where they're going to get every mineral and every vitamin that they need just to keep them alive, but they're not necessarily going to thrive eating kibble or eating, pet food. Oftentimes it's not human grade food. It's below human grade. It's really not the best stuff. And just looking at the ingredients on it, it's really weird stuff that you would never feed a wolf or a dog. Sometimes the first ingredient would be corn. I mean, when is a dog going to eat corn in the wild? I mean, that's
Like
not.
never.
They're obligate carnivores. They need meat, and I didn't switch because I wanted to. I switched kind of because I had to.
Mm.
Um, I had a dog that had a neurological disease. I had to put her down, and I
I'm
was left
sorry
with
to hear
with
that.
one dog. I had my dog that I have now, Olivia, and she started to get sick too. And I thought, man, I'm not going to lose another dog. My other dog, Penny, had just died a few months, prior. I said, I'm going to learn as much as I can about dog nutrition, dog health. And I joined every Facebook group. I watched every YouTube video. I read all the books you could find, and I learned as much as I can. And she really benefited. I mean, her teeth were, super white, super clean, fresh breath. She smelled better. She looked better. Her body tone changed. She was kind of chunky before. Now she had muscle on her. She looked like a little bodybuilder dog. And it was everyone could see the difference. Everyone could see how much healthier my dog was. And whenever COVID hit, I was worried because what I would do was I would feed. I don't know if how familiar you are with raw diet, or I don't know if you have any idea of what you feed
I
dogs.
have the minimum knowledge of it. I know this is what I feed my dogs. I just got a German Shepherd.
Sure, sure.
So this is what I feed him. I feed him the brand is Nutri-Nugget, and
Okay.
also I give him when I have a extra on the side, I buy
Hmm.
bags of chicken thigh, chicken feet, chicken leg, all that.
Oh, that's amazing. You just incorporating fresh fruits and vegetables, or fresh meats, or just giving them little bits and pieces of human food.
Right.
Something as simple as cracking open a can of sardines is
Oh,
really going to make a big improvement in your dog's health.
sardine. I didn't even think of that.
Sardines, yeah, those omega 3s are amazing. Yeah,
Also do
sardines.
a chicken liver. That's what I give.
Chicken liver, yeah. Any bits and pieces of meat is going to make your dog a little bit healthier.
Right.
And like I was saying, whenever COVID hit, I actually was worried because unfortunately, when you feed raw diet, you're going to the grocery store a lot.
Yeah.
I live in a small apartment. I don't have room for a second freezer or fridge or anything like
Right.
that. So I'd have to go almost every day to the grocery store to get chicken leg quarters, chicken thighs, ground beef, this raw meat that you're going to feed your dog. And I was worried about it whenever COVID hit. I thought, you know what, I'm trying to avoid the grocery stores, trying not to get out as much. So unfortunately, March of last year, I switched back to pet food,
Sad.
and it
Yeah.
really hurt. But I was, at the end of the day, your dog's probably, they're going to live on pet food. I mean, it's enough to keep them alive. And during this pandemic, we need to worry about us
Right.
humans and everything. So I switched her to pet food, and she was actually on pet food until about a month ago.
Mhm.
And I had just been lazy. I got a new job, had been busy, hadn't made the switch because there's a little bit of a switch there. It takes a month or so to really switch him
Right.
back. And I kind of was forced to switch her back. A couple weeks ago, she had bladder stone surgery.
Oh, yeah, I saw that on your post.
Yeah, yeah, man. That's and
How did
that's a lot of money.
I
And she
bet?
almost died. I don't know if you know what happens to a dog when they have bladder stones.
I
It's a medical
don't.
emergency,
Oh,
and
what happened?
that.
What happens to the dog when they get bladder stones?
So basically, I noticed that she was having a hard time, peeing. She was just straining, and not much was coming out. And I thought something's not right. And I had to go out of town for work, so my mom took her for me to not my normal vet, but to a different vet. And he said, you know what, she's fine. I think she's okay. I'm just going to give her a shot. And I came back from my trip the next day, and I said, I don't know, she doesn't look right. And I checked her pee to see if there was any blood. And I took a small urine sample. It was I kid you not, the color of Folgers coffee.
Ooh.
It was super brown. And took her to the vet, got X-rays. They're like, yeah, you have bladder stones. And, in the raw diet community, you get a lot of, not that vets do it on purpose, but a lot of vets will not recommend a raw diet. And the reason is most people don't feed a proper balanced diet whenever they make, their own diet at home for their dogs. You could really mess up your animal like that. So, vets always mean well. But luckily I have a vet that is pro raw, and she feeds all her pets a raw diet. And she told me, Steven, are you still feeding Olivia raw diet? And I said, I let her know, no, a year ago we switched back to pet food. She said, go back to a raw diet. Don't ever go back to kibble. If you look it up, you could see that kibble does contribute to bladder stones. The reason being that it's so dry, and it's going to concentrate their urine. It doesn't lead to stones, but it contributes to stones. It's not the primary cause. There's a lot of factors, and that's really what I've been trying to do right now, is working with my vet, and I even hired a separate nutritionist to really analyze the diet, really go over things. I don't want this to ever happen again. I mean, it's a lot of money. It's pretty traumatic. It's intense surgery.
Not only that, the pain and struggle the dog's got to go through after the surgery too. I mean,
Oh yeah, it
like
was
like
yeah,
they don't
yeah.
know what's happened to them. It's hard for them to comprehend to
Exactly,
stay
exactly,
still, don't move.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I worry about that a lot because I know the lifespan of a dog. It's what 14, 15 years depending on the dog, right? Um,
I think the average is 11 years.
okay, I'm
And
thinking more
what
Chihuahuas then.
yeah, well, yeah, exactly. It's going to be different for each breed. And the sad thing is there's so many breeds, with advancements in medicine, you would think dogs would be living longer, but it's actually the opposite. Their
Mm.
lifespans are actually, shrinking. For example, the average lifespan 20 years ago, you can look this up on Google, of a golden retriever was about 14 or 15 years old. Today, it's only about 10.
That's what I've known it is, but right now
Yeah.
when you say that amount, I'm like, wow,
Yeah.
that's a high. That was high.
And people don't really know why. If you ask some vets, there's a lot of different factors. It might be the pet food. It might be that we're spaying and neutering our animals so frequent and so young. To me,
Yeah,
it always was weird. Why is it okay to spay or neuter an 8-week-year-old dog? An 8-week animal. They need those hormones to develop and
the
grow, and
testosterone
it's
and
just
all that.
there's a lot of I know why they spay and neuter so frequent. It's because of overpopulation,
Yeah,
but it's I mean, in my opinion, it's really not what's best for the animal. At least wait a little bit. At least wait till they're 2 or 3.
that's what I've heard too as well. And I say I've heard because as far as dog goes, I have a very minimal amount of knowledge on them. I know enough to take care of them, and I know
Mm-hmm.
enough to not only feed them just the kibbles, or the pebbles or
Yeah.
whatever brand it is. I started feeding him when I first got her. I started feeding her pedigree, but one of my friends told me that that's the worst you could give them. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but as far as advertising, they advertise that one as like the best, right?
The best. It's all advertising. Yeah. When I recommend pet foods to friends and family, Purina, even though Purina's big, it's a huge corporation, they have probably the most science. They have a lot of vets and doctors, nutritionists behind Purina. And you would say, well, you might be surprised that I'm recommending Purina and not something more healthy or more, natural,
Mm-hmm.
like I guess a Blue Buffalo or an Origin. Those pet foods, unfortunately, a lot of them were causing some heart disease in dogs. So
Mm.
I really go and do my research and make sure look
Right.
at which ones aren't causing heart disease.
You know what's crazy? Now that you say that, I'm thinking. I'm over here thinking, and I see the same pattern that they did with I guess with us.
Hmm.
Like, and I say us as a human race.
Hmm.
Excuse me. And I say us as a human race. But it was at the 50s, or when the sugar industry was paying doctors to say the sugar was actually good for you, and the cholesterol was you were getting it from fats and all that.
Hmm.
It sounds
Exactly.
it
Yeah.
sounds to me like they used the same type of advertisement as they were using back in the days on us. And
Well, some of these healthier pet
air
foods,
quotes.
they use better ingredients. I'm trying to think of a good example. So Origin pet food, they use very good quality ingredients. The issue is a lot of these are grain free, and grain free pet food. Your dogs don't need grain, but unfortunately, grain is actually pretty inflammatory for your dog.
Hmm.
But they have to put something in there. So instead of putting grains, they put legumes or peas. And for whatever reason, there's a lot of, I don't know, they're still doing a lot of research. It looks like the peas cause, what's called DCM, which is basically heart disease in the dog.
Oh
So
wow.
there's some conflicting science. We really don't know yet. We think that's what's causing it. So if you're going to feed pet food, just do a little research and look at which ones are causing this DCM, this heart disease. And
Mm.
if you get Purina, it's not the best. It's really, I think all pet food's bad, but hey, at least it's not causing heart disease.
Right. I look at all of them and any pet food. There's I don't think I personally have came across any brand of pet food pet. Damn, I can't even talk. I'm sorry. Of
You're good.
of pet food that
Uh-huh.
doesn't have any type of grain on it. It's
Hmm.
and if there is, it's probably hard to find because either they have like peas or what's the other one? Chicks. What's the other one?
Chickpeas,
Yeah, yeah.
oatmeal.
Oh,
So in order for it, because remember it's dry,
right. What
they
about
got to put something, and it costs a lot of money. I mean, meat's expensive, so they're trying to bring the
yeah.
cost down.
What about the rice and potato? Is that just as bad?
It's not bad. A lot of vets will recommend rice whenever your dog has an upset stomach.
Oh
They're pretty
yeah.
much just doing that to get. I know this sounds bad, to kind of get you off their back. Um, they want to seem like they're giving you something that's going to help, but in my opinion, in my experience, rice actually does more harm than good.
Yeah.
Your dog has an upset stomach. It sounds counterintuitive, and a lot of a lot of pets, especially in the United States, they really baby their dogs. I mean, they really baby their dogs.
They
For
do.
example, if my dog has an upset stomach, I'm not going to give her rice. I'm going to fast the dog. I'm not going to feed her for 24 hours.
Oh,
And you
okay.
say, oh, that sounds really bad. How, that's cruel.
No,
No, I mean, wolves in the wild go 2 weeks without eating, no issues. In fact, it's good for your dog to fast.
yeah.
And if, next time your dog has, diarrhea, I mean, it goes away like that. Nothing works better than fasting the dog. You're
You
not going to
know
hurt your dog by giving rice. In my opinion, those kind of starchy carbohydrates just really aren't the best.
what about because this is what I've known about dogs eating grass. It's because their
Uh-huh.
stomach is upset. Is that
Mhm.
grass would work better for them? I mean, they would know what works better for them, right?
Well,
In that
it
case,
never. So dogs will eat anything. I mean, dogs will eat stuff that's bad for them too.
that's true.
Dogs eat poop sometimes. It's not good for them.
I
Uh,
read that they do that out of boredom. How much true is in that?
they can, if you leave your dog alone, they can chew on anything. I mean, my dog chewed on my wall, years ago when I first
Oh
got her.
no.
They eat slippers, they eat shoes,
Yes.
they eat whatever. But yeah, it seems like whenever they have an upset stomach, they will eat grass. Don't let them though, because a lot of grasses are actually toxic.
What?
So I want to say Bermuda. I might be wrong. Bermuda's toxic. There's several other toxic grasses. So I mean,
I would have never know
oftentimes you
that.
don't know what kind of grass is out there. So
Right.
it's better to just be, safe than sorry.
Right. But what I'm thinking is when my dog eats grass, it's out of my yard. I have
Yes.
a yard. I mean,
Uh-huh.
I'm fortunate to not
Yeah.
to have a yard.
Sure.
So I know that well because my other
It
dogs eat
it
it. So yeah.
it's not going to help. It's not going to help if that's
Okay.
what you're asking. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's better to go with rice. Okay.
It's
See.
better to just, if they have an upset stomach, it's better to just
Oh,
fast
fast.
the
You said
dog.
fast, of
Don't feed
course.
them. Just 12 hours. Your dog's fine. 12 hours. I mean, I fast all the time. 16 hours, 18 hours, no big deal. Your dog's going to be just fine.
From what time to what time do you fast?
Uh, so I don't do it every day, but sometimes I try to eat within a small window. I might
Right.
eat, lunch at 2 o'clock and then, stop eating at, I don't know, like at 8.
Oh, okay. You
Yeah.
go later.
Yeah.
I go when I actually stick to my fasting. I go from like 5 in the afternoon all the way to 10 in the morning the next day.
Oh,
So I
wow.
have all
Yeah.
that window. But
Yeah.
here's my mistake when I fast. During the window that I allow myself to eat,
Hmm.
I go hard.
That's what I do. Yeah. And I haven't been the best here lately. I really have been fasting, but I noticed because I started working out a little bit
Well,
more
that's good.
intensely as of recent. And I noticed I kind of need that breakfast now. You know, when I'm lifting
Yeah,
heavy, it's hard not to eat breakfast.
I'm the opposite.
Really?
If I eat, it's done. My workout is not going to be good.
Uh-huh.
But if I don't eat, if I fast and I go to the gym and work in my workout, like I'm good. I'll be sweating, I'll be dripping, and I'll be trying to go all the way to my PR and just go hard on my workout, run, do
Yeah. Yeah.
stairs, bicycle. I do it all. But once I eat and then I go to the gym, it's not the same. I'm just like
Yeah.
I'm just
Yeah.
dragging my
I know
feet.
what you mean. Yeah, if I work out in the morning, I totally have to work out fasted. But whenever I do, afternoon work, it's just too long, man. I
Uh,
can't.
it's
I have
hard
to eat if I'm going
sometimes.
to work out at 5. Yeah, I have to eat something.
You get that sensation in your stomach too. But once you get past that sensation that you get in your stomach when you're fasting, you're good. I think that's your body just trying
You're
to
good, and whenever that mental clarity kicks in, I mean, yeah,
yeah
you get so much done. You become like hyper productive. It's
yeah
pretty
yeah
amazing.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's fun. That's good. That's good that you fast. It is. They say it's good for the brain
What
and
kind of
like
workouts do you do? You just go to a gym and lift, or?
yeah. Well, I mean, okay. So before the pandemic, let me back up to 2019 when I started doing the podcast. I
Mm-hmm.
was in shape. Okay, I was
Mm-hmm.
really in shape for reals. But then the pandemic came around, and I was like, you know what? This seems like it's gonna kill everybody. So
Oh
if I'm
yeah.
gonna die, I don't want to die on a diet. So I'll just die, with at least mouth pleasure.
Uh-huh.
So, and ever since then, it hasn't been the same.
You're not alone, man. That's everybody. Yeah, I put on some pandemic weight for sure. Yeah,
but
definitely.
but I try to go at least once a week. But right now, because my job got a little crazier and we're doing a lot more hours, so I'm putting the gym off more to the side and trying to focus more on this, and so I can have more
Hmm.
conversation with different people. Yeah,
Nice, nice. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. But once I get to where I want to be, then I'll probably just focus back again. My focus will be on the gym so I can get back in
Hmm.
shape. But I'll try to stay in shape for the meantime.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man. I started doing F45. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that.
No, what is that?
Couple weeks. I guess it's kind of like it's a high intensity interval training kind of classes. It's they're all over the world. They started it in Australia. I guess it's kind of like CrossFit, but not exactly. A little bit different. I guess a little bit safer. There's not all the heavy. You're not maxing out on anything.
Okay, well
It's
good.
just a
That's good. Yeah, at least you're not gonna
and
rip or tear anything.
funny you said that. I actually hurt my
No.
knee on Thursday. Man, it was the last workout of the day, and the very last squat. It was my last rep. My knee just popped,
Oh
and
no.
it's actually my bad knee that I had ACL surgery and meniscus surgery like 10 years ago, and it's kind of sore right now. I'm not overreacting. I'm trying not to. It's just I don't know. It feels a little weird, but I'm resting, icing, doing everything. So
That's all you can do for now. But once you
yeah.
get once you feel the strength back on your knee, then you should probably try some. They say also the yoga is good for that, for strength.
Yeah. I'm a big yoga fan.
Oh, you
Yeah,
okay? That's good. Yeah, so
yeah,
you're on
I've
top
done it
of
in the
it.
past. In fact, I did that. I don't know if you know who Diamond Dallas Page is. That DDP Yoga. I had a
No.
subscription to that for years. I love DDP Yoga. Yeah, he's a former pro wrestler, and he
Oh,
he
okay.
came up with this I guess this yoga program because so many wrestlers were in such bad shape, including him, and he's been able to help so many people. I mean, so many ex wrestlers. These guys were on heavy pain pills. I mean,
Hmm.
miserable.
They came
Got rid of
back.
all their pain. Yeah,
Wow,
yeah,
that's
super good
good.
stuff.
That's good. Maybe you should get back into that. And yeah, because it's good for all that. Anything strenuous, it's good for the mind.
Mhm.
It keeps us sharp.
You know,
Yeah.
I can already tell the difference from doing these workouts. I'll tell you this. I don't know. I'm not anti-vaccine or anything. I got my vaccines. I got both of them. I got the Pfizer shots. But after I got them, I had some issues. I had some pretty bad heart palpitations for about a month. And I went to two different doctors. I went to the cardiologist. They really weren't sure what was going on. I had a elevated resting heart rate. It was bad. It was like in the hundreds.
Wow.
And that wasn't typical for me. And I was like, what is going on? And, cardiologist said, I'm fine. I don't think anything's wrong. It might just be anxiety. I don't know. Maybe it was. But I started doing these, F45 classes. My heart rate is back to, but it's better than it ever was. It literally has been cut in half. It's in the 50s now.
That's good.
60s now. So,
That's
I mean, way better than it was. I mean, it was kind of scary it being at 110 and I'm just sitting on the couch.
Yeah, you were running. Your soul was running.
Yeah, and it would not stop. I could not get it to stop.
Well, I'm glad you're better now, but it was probably it's probably some anxiety attack, huh?
It might have been. I did have COVID on Christmas.
You
who
too?
knows?
I had it.
Yeah.
Did you have it during Christmas or around?
During Christmas, I tested positive Christmas Eve.
No way.
Yeah.
I got it. I want to say 2 weeks prior to it, to Christmas. That's when I had it too. Yeah.
Did you miss Christmas? Were you okay by then?
I was okay by then. I just but for the most part, we stayed away from everybody during that time. But I was coming out of it, and I got me the whole month of December for a vacation, so that was pretty good. But I only got paid for half of it, and the rest I had to use my vacation. But
oh man,
but
it was no fun. That was the worst thing. Christmas, New Year's alone.
It was just
kind of
scary.
depressing, but
really, it was just scary because it was uncertain. Nobody knew what was going to happen.
That was the worst part? Just the fear, the anxiety of being sick. Like, is this going to get worse? Am I okay? And unfortunately, I was fine, and it wasn't too bad. But it's still scary. It's no fun.
Yeah, no, it is, and all these new variants and stuff like that, right? It's just. Where is it going?
Man, here we are over a year into this, and I feel like we're, I don't know, just as bad as when we started. It's.
Yeah, it does. You do get that eerie feeling where it's like, it seems like we're at that door again, just to cross where we were at like last year around this time again.
Unfortunately, there's no end in sight. Nobody knows how long is this going to go for? It's just that's the hard part. We don't know how much longer. We don't know how long the world is going to be like this.
Right. But from the looks of it, I heard today on I forgot the name of the podcast, but they talk about like news that are happening today, and they're saying that it looks like it's here to stay. Like it's not going to go. I mean,
maybe so. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. I'm just to the point where I'm like, all right, just tell me what I need to do. I just wanted it to be normal again because it's been too long again. Whatever is happening, how some stores are still closed and some stores maintain closed. It feels like it's like, all right, I just want this to not be the normal. I want the old normal, whatever you want to call it.
Exactly. Yeah. It's just, like I said, I don't know if it was my shots. I got them. I'm going to get the next one, the third one. I am a little nervous though, man. I'm just like, oh.
You're right. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
I had some issues.
Everybody was at one point or is at one point, because nobody, well, at least the doctors do, but nobody normal that doesn't look at the science behind it understands what it really is and what it really does. But what makes people, I think this is my personal opinion, that what I think makes people fearful of it is the fact that they're pushing it too hard. But at the same time, maybe they are pushing it that hard because they want, like I'm saying right now, I want everything to back like normal like it was.
Sure.
Maybe that's the same idea behind it. But
I will say nothing will make you want to get the vaccine more than actually getting COVID. Because had I not got COVID, I probably wouldn't have gotten the vaccine. But I thought, I don't want this again. This was no fun. This sucks. I'll just go get the shot.
Right. Yeah, that's the best option. I mean, we're all different. Everybody's gonna have a different reaction to it. Like you seem to be fine, but there's other people that have been affected where they can't move out of bed apparently, but this is what I've seen online. Now I don't know how real the videos are, so that's why I said apparently. Just you want to be careful with your words because you don't want to accuse anybody.
You never know with anything on the internet.
Right, that's right.
Can't believe anything.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. But back to the pet food. Well, not pet food, but animal food. I don't know. There was on TikTok a video of a guy that worked at a place where they make pig feed.
Hmm.
I don't know if you saw this video
I think I saw something about it. Yeah.
where they would all the extra bread that stores don't sell, they send it to there
Hmm.
to make pig feed, and
Exactly.
apparently this is what we were talking about, that we don't know what's in the kibbles and the dog food and all
Hmm.
that. Like this is what apparently what they were doing is just grabbing everything, like all the bread, vegetables, anything. They would grab it and they would put it all in the same pile without taking it out of the bag. And then they would throw it in, make the pig fit, and then the pigs would eat the plastic, and then they would it gets in their genes or whatever happens in their systems, and then
Yeah.
we go to the store and buy that food, and then we eat that.
It's not good for you. Um I've spent a lot of time at dairies, and I've gone to dairies, and it's not the prettiest conditions.
Mm.
Some of the stuff you see is pretty rough. And I'm not vegan, I'm not vegetarian, but I do watch the quality of meat that I eat, and especially the quality for my dog. Just because if I don't, if because I've tested her food and changed her food so many times, and I've even kept a journal in the past to see,
Mm.
okay, is she itchy? Is her quality of coat? And when I am feeding healthier options, higher quality meats, there's a difference. And I don't do the same for myself. I don't keep a journal of my health. Does Steven's hair look good? Does Steven's skin look good? But I make sure to always I'm a big fan of grass fed beef, and free range chicken, free range organic eggs, and stuff like
Right.
that.
Yeah, I got chickens. I get eggs. I got two chickens that lay eggs every day, so I'm doing good on
Oh, I'm jealous. Yeah, I live in an apartment. If I would love to have chickens. That's my
yeah.
dream.
No,
Yeah.
they're fun to have. They're fun. They get into everything though. You got to be careful with your plants if you have plants and chickens. They'll
I bet.
destroy them.
Yeah, I
Because I
bet.
have them out or open in my yard. I just got the yard and put a fence in between it, but they have a whole side to themselves over there in the backyard.
Nice.
I bought me two smaller chickens like six
Hmm.
months ago, but they turned out to be roosters, and now I got three roosters in my yard.
Oh man, is that an
Yeah.
issue?
It wasn't an issue until yesterday. My wife said she went outside because she heard them. They were going crazy, and apparently, two of the smaller roosters that I have, they were going at it, and one of them ended up bleeding, and so we had to
That's what
separate
I
them.
heard. Yeah, I think if you have too many together, yeah, there's issues. You have to start
Yeah.
fighting.
So, I mean, I don't want anybody to come after me, or even Peter, right? But needless to say, that rooster's probably gonna go to the oven, because I got three roosters, and and that's the main reason why we got them. Because see, going back to the pandemic last year, and this is what I did when I noticed that meat was starting to get expensive, and I thought
Uh-huh.
and I thought we were all gonna die, and then it was gonna be an apocalyptic
Oh yeah, yeah.
Walking Dead scenario, right? So that's what I'd imagine. I was like,
It's
all
not
right,
over yet.
right. Well, I mean, we know now that it's not going to be that. So let's just
Uh,
go as far as there, right? Hopefully, because like you said, it's
Hopefully,
not
yeah.
over.
Fingers crossed.
So, so my idea was, all right, meat's getting expensive. So what do? I got two kids. I don't want him to only be eating vegetables because us we're carnivorous too. We're animals. We eat meat too, right?
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
so I was like, all right, what could I have at home? And my first thought was chicken, eggs. I was like, all right, I could do that. So I bought
Hmm.
me a couple of chickens, and then out of those three chickens that I bought me, one of them was a rooster and two hens. So those are
Hmm.
the two that are laying eggs right now. But then I was like, all right, what am I gonna do about meat? Chickens take a long time to grow, and the eggs, well, I can't be waiting for chicks because what am I gonna be eating? Nuggets all the time, chick nuggets.
Yeah,
So I was like, all right, rabbits. You could have two rabbits, and in a month you'll probably end up with like 10 rabbits.
yeah, that's true.
So I got me some rabbits, and
How did that go?
you know what? Well, it turns out I had two males, and they were going at it, and I went to pick them up to separate them, And
Uh-huh.
one of them, I guess, thought it was another rabbit that was trying to bite him from behind.
Oh no.
He got my thumb. My finger healed. It took 6 months to heal, but
Oh man.
it went through my nail, and it
Wow.
went through my nail at the top and at the bottom of my finger. So he got me good.
Man, you wouldn't think that, a tiny animal like that could really, bite your
Oh,
finger,
oh, they
that
can.
hard, man. That's yeah, that's
They can't. Well, that was my thought. I was like, if it bites me, it'll just hurt. Just a little scratch. It won't matter. But
not
no,
through the nail. That's pretty intense. Yeah.
no, it went through my nail.
Wow.
But yeah, my nail's good now. So fortunately, so yeah, I went with rabbits and I had some, and the rabbits had some, I should say, and I tried the meat, and I gotta say, not a big fan.
Yeah, it's okay. It depends how you eat it, how you cook it.
It
Yeah.
was probably my cooking because I'm not nowhere near being a chef anywhere,
Yeah.
But I
Well,
try my
it's
best.
it's it's definitely different. If you're not used to eating a certain protein, it can be kind of weird at first. Yeah.
Right, right.
Yeah.
So but I was like, all right, at least it'll be something to eat. And now I got rabbits
Exactly.
and chickens, but the rabbits
Yeah.
they just chill in the yard, and then the chickens, but hopefully I don't need to use the rabbits anytime soon, so I'll just keep them for
Yeah.
backup.
Yeah. Hopefully. Speaking of proteins, that's something you can definitely do for dogs is rotate the protein. If you're feeding kibble, okay, there's several ways you can make kibble healthier. One of them is, don't feed that dog the same kibble for its whole life. Switch it up every now and then.
Okay,
Maybe every quarter switch to a different protein. They've been eating chicken. All right, we're going to feed beef now.
okay.
And of course, if it looks like they're not tolerating that, you can always go back. But rotating that will really help prevent them from developing a protein allergy. Because there's unfortunately a lot of dogs that will eat the same protein and they'll develop a protein allergy. Dogs are unique. People really aren't like that. But you feed a dog chicken every single day and only chicken, they're going to get a protein allergy to that chicken, possibly.
Mm, okay, because like I mentioned earlier, I feed them kibbles and chicken, but
Hmm.
it's part kibbles and part chicken, but it's
Yeah,
mainly
yeah,
kibbles and
yeah.
mostly just chicken. I haven't
Mhm.
switched to like lamb or anything like that. So maybe I should have started looking into
Ground
yeah,
beef, you could do ground turkey. Pork is fine.
rabbit.
You know, rabbit is fine. Duck is okay. You can really feed any protein. It really doesn't matter. The only thing you have to be careful about is bones. So people who feed a raw diet typically feed poultry bones.
Right.
Now these bones are not cooked. Never feed your dog cooked bones ever.
It
That's
becomes
dangerous.
rubbery, right?
Yeah, and they splinter. It can get stuck in their throat. Your dog could die.
Right.
But poultry bones are typically always fine, raw, never cooked.
Mm-hmm.
Chicken, turkey bones. I personally don't feed turkey bones. I think they're too dense. I like to stick to chicken bones,
Mm.
and that's also where a lot of vets are concerned about people messing up the raw diet. Is not most people won't include enough calcium, and that's probably the most important aspect of the diet is the calcium.
Where does the calcium come for the
So
dog?
calcium comes from bones,
Oh,
okay?
okay, okay.
But calcium, if you're not feeding bones, you can feed eggshell powder.
Oh,
Eggshells
what?
eggshells have plenty of calcium, or a calcium supplement.
Oh, I didn't even think of that. Like I said, like we use a lot of eggs, and like,
Yeah.
I still have to buy them from the store because two chickens is it's not enough to
Hmm.
for a family of four
Sure,
for
sure.
enough eggs, right? But we do use a lot of eggs, and I've never thought of that. I've heard that eggshells on plants were good, but I
Hmm.
never thought, that's a lot of calcium for
Which
dogs.
you don't need to feed your dog any more calcium if they're eating pet food, but for someone that's making a diet from scratch,
Mm,
you definitely need to include that because your dog can really get some bone problems. You got to watch their calcium phosphorus levels, and that's, like I said, that's the most important aspect of the raw diet, and that's why the vets really get worried sometimes when people say I'm going to feed a raw diet, because if you just feed your dog raw hamburger meat every day, over a span of 2-3 years, your dog's going to probably get some issues.
right. What
Yeah.
about as far as dogs eating fruit? Because I've heard grapes may give them some failure, liver
Oh,
failure.
Yeah, exactly. So grapes are toxic, and onions are toxic.
Onions too.
Garlic is mildly toxic. Same for chocolate; it's mildly toxic. But grapes and onions are really the bad ones. Besides that, you can pretty much feed anything to your dogs. Any
Okay.
vegetable, any fruit is fine. Um, my raw diet group on Facebook. That's why I have that free and open discussion in there. Was because whenever I was going through this journey, I joined so many Facebook groups, and it's a lot like, I guess, human diets. People kind of treat their diet like religion. It's my way or you're wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And I would join these raw diet groups, and they would say, you know what, your dog needs no vegetables, your dog needs no fruit, just meat. And that just seems strange to me. First of all, if you look at what some of the top, animal nutritionists are saying, people who know a lot more than I do, they're saying, okay, where's your dog getting its antioxidants? Cancer
Mm-hmm.
cause or cancer fighting antioxidants. Well, that's going to be in vegetables. And then if you look at the diets, even in wild wolves, they're still eating fruits and vegetables.
Mm-hmm.
They're eating things like wild blueberries, or they're eating a rabbit and eating the contents of that
The
animal's
stomach and the
stomach,
rabbit. Yeah, yeah,
which
yeah.
is vegetables. So I joined these groups, and in this world, and I guess even in human nutrition, there's so many conflicting things. Who's right? One group will say feed this way, one group will say feed that way, and you really have to kind of just do some research and see what works for your dog, because dogs, like just like people, everyone's different.
Right.
There no two dogs are the same. I feed my dog how I think is best for her, and that's not going to work for every animal.
Mm-hmm. Of
You
course.
kind of have to, it's trial and error.
Right, right. Like what you've done with what you did with your dog, right? And like pretty much what you did was a test too, like a trial, I should say.
Exactly.
What you did was go from feeding him raw food to now kibbles,
Hmm.
and then back to raw food, and then you're seeing that she's going back to whatever stage she was previous to giving her kibbles, right?
Exactly. And the best way, if you want to get your dog on a raw diet, it's a lot of work. I'm not going to lie. It's a lot of research. You have to make sure that you have the ratios, are balanced. And you want to feed a diet that's going to, on every single pet food, there's a little sticker on there that says AFCO balanced.
Mm.
And that means that it's properly balanced to meet all of your dog's nutritional requirements.
Can you repeat that
And
again?
okay, it's AFCO.
AFCO.
AFCO, which it's AAFCO, AFCO.
Oh, okay, okay.
Okay, and that is the golden standard. So every single pet food at the store or anywhere is going to say AFCO balanced. So your goal, whenever you're making a raw diet, is to have your diet that you're preparing be AFCO balanced. It does take some work. It does take some research to make sure that it's balanced. And you can say, come on, you're just feeding your dog. Why do I need to do this? I don't do that for myself. And your dog will probably be fine. I used to do that for the longest time, for 2.5 years. I didn't balance everything properly. I just fed what I thought was okay, and she was fine. But now that she has these health issues, she's had those bladder stones. I got the help of a nutritionist,
Mm-hmm.
someone who knows a lot more than I do, who's worked with dogs that had bladder stones, because I'm really trying to prevent this from ever happening again.
Of
So
course.
what I'm saying is, if it might seem like, why am I going to waste money to pay someone to tell me how to feed my dog? It's going to save you a lot of time. It's really not that expensive, and at least your dog's going to be eating right.
It's pretty much an investment for the future because if you think about the lifespan of a dog towards the end of the life of a dog, it seems like that's where they have most of their troubles because a lot of the
Exactly.
dogs come with genetics. What's the word?
Yeah, predisposition. Oh my God, I'm tongue tied. Yeah.
That's exactly what I'm trying
Yeah.
to. Predisposition that they.
There we go. There you go.
Yes. Well, and that's why I think most of us should be, but we're not invested in the diet of the dog. We just think of the dog. Oh, it'll eat whatever we give him. Of course, it'll eat whatever you give him because that's all there is to eat.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, dogs will eat trash, and
Yeah.
dogs. Especially if I, you know, if you go down to Mexico, you see dogs, stray dogs, wild dogs, literally just surviving off scraps or, you know,
Mm-hmm.
eating, out of dumpsters and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
and
They'll.
those dogs will live, 8, 9, 10 years old. Dogs are very resilient.
Do you think it's
Um,
because of the variety of nutrients they eat?
it might be so, but what I'm trying to say is dogs are so resilient. They can literally eat garbage and survive. But the thing is, why do you want to feed raw? Why do you want to feed, biologically appropriate, raw diet is so they can thrive.
Right.
You feeding your dog as healthy as it can, it might add 2 years, it might add 3 years, it might just add 1 year, but at least you're getting the most out of the life of the dog, and you're improving the quality of the life they're going to have. You could avoid things like, arthritis, or, possibly cataracts, or, just joint pains that,
Mm-hmm.
are normal for, for everybody.
What do you do for joint for to have healthy joints on a dog? Do you do fish
So
oils?
just feeding chicken bones is more than enough. You
Oh,
you got
okay.
more glucosamine than any supplement is going to have.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, because I've heard give them fish oils, and that'll keep them healthy. I guess that's what I've
Fish
read.
oil helps. In fact, I get fish oil a couple times a week. Crack open that can of sardines once a week.
Ah,
That's probably, if there was one thing you could do to make your kibble healthier, is add sardines once a week.
I'm gonna start doing that. Yeah,
And it's so easy. They're 99 cents at the store.
that's what I
All
was
you
gonna
do,
say.
buy them in water, crack them open, rinse them, you get some of that sodium out, and then just feed them to the dog.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about the salt in it, but yes, you're right. Yes, that's
Yeah, in water, and they love them. I mean, my dog's probably her favorite food is sardines. She goes
of
crazy.
course they love that fish smell.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I was gonna say something. I lost my train of thought. Um, Jesus Christ, it was a question that it was on that same subject. But anyways, yeah.
And I'm telling people to go get a nutritionist if they want to do this. I don't make any money off of this. I'm not a pet nutritionist. I don't want them to think, oh, he's just trying to get me to, hire him to make it. I don't make money off of that.
Is there
So,
like with what you're doing? It's great what you're doing. You're putting the information out there, and you basically created a group for people to ask questions to each other. And there's a
mhm,
lot of people out there that are not interested in creating any content, but they're
mhm,
very knowledgeable with about the dogs, because they probably had dogs their whole life. Like I have a
yeah,
neighbor. He's a breeder. He breeds Presa Canarios. You know which ones those are?
I don't actually. No.
Um, Kenny Corsos.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. There we
Yes.
go.
Well, he has the breed that he has. They're Presa Canarios, and he's been breeding it since. He told me, I've only known him for the last 7 years, but he said to me that he'd been breeding the same breed of dogs for over 20 years. So
Hmm.
he's very knowledgeable in what he feeds his dogs. His dogs are big.
Hmm.
I got one from him, but she passed away unfortunately.
Oh man.
Yeah, that's when I started learning about what to feed dogs, and mainly that's when I went with just chicken and liver, and
Hmm.
mix it with the kibbles. But now that you're telling me that the sardines, that's what I'm gonna go with too. Cause
Sardines, or you could always go to a completely raw diet if you do it right. It's cheap. You start to get good at it, and I can feed my dog a raw diet cheaper than premium kibble.
right,
Chicken leg quarters at the store, 79 cents a pound.
right, you
And
can
that's
get a
probably,
bag
that's
for ten
a big bag.
$10.
Yeah, it's super cheap, and it's not expensive. And you see that difference in your dog. They're going to smell better, look better. It was rough this last year when she was eating kibble, and it wasn't just kibble, but it was kibble and wet food. I would do half kibble, half wet food,
That's what I
and
was
she
gonna
had
ask.
she had that nasty breath.
Yeah, that
I was just
fish
like,
is
get
nasty.
get
Yeah, yeah,
get
yeah.
yeah, get away from me. But that raw diet breath smells like nothing. I mean, it smells great.
What would be? How could one go of getting a, a bag of food in the store
Mhm.
that has only raw meat? Is that
So
possible?
okay, there are some brands, and they're pretty good. So there's one called Stella and Chewy's. That's probably my favorite, and it's all organic,
What's the
and
price?
it's expensive. That's the thing. It's a lot of money
Oh,
for
okay.
a bag. I don't know. It's like $50 a bag, and that $50 that that bag's going to last you maybe a week.
It's like 12 pounds, huh? Like 12, 14
Yeah,
pounds.
yeah. So it's. I mean, you're going to spend about $200 a
You know,
month
I was
that way.
getting a blue ribbon because that's the one that I've heard, but I see that it has rice too, you know, still, but
Hmm.
it doesn't have corn, which I was like, all
Hmm.
right, I'll go with the rice and not the corn. But now I know that you're telling me that the rice is good. So I was doing blue ribbon, but that one
Hmm.
it was getting expensive because it was like $35 for like a 16 pound
Yeah,
bag.
it's
So
it's
it could get
yeah,
pricey.
pricey stuff. Which I will say there is a Stella and Chewy's kibble that they have, and it's an oatmeal formula. So instead of there being chickpeas or rice or any kind of legumes, there's going to be oatmeal, and that one's probably the best kibble you could buy.
Okay. All right.
It,
That's
it,
good to
it's
know.
not on the list of kibbles that were causing heart disease, that GCM.
Right. Now I know we're saying that there's a companies already doing that. Now for you, with your knowledge that you're learning, what do you plan on
Mhm.
doing with it? Do you plan on making your own brand of dog food for that, or are you just sharing
You know,
information?
whenever I started this, I wasn't trying to do anything. I wasn't trying to make any money. I really started this. I got kicked out of so many Facebook groups because I was arguing with people and fighting with people. And, just, uh, if you had a difference in opinions, they ban you. And I said, you know what? I'm going to start my own group.
Right. It's
And,
best thing to
I
do.
started posting content. I would go live on Facebook. Before you know it, I had 100. Before you know it, I had 1,000. And then I'm like, shoot, I'm at 20,000, people on here.
Wow.
And,
Dang.
we're about to hit 40,000.
Nice.
And thank you. And it's super active. I mean, we get, thousands and thousands of comments every day. And I've been hit up by companies. I've been hit up by people who formulated their own, raw diet pet foods that want to, partner up with me. And, I'm exploring some of these opportunities. I'm
Yeah.
really not sure which direction this is going to go.
I'm excited
Um,
for you.
I'm currently writing an article. In fact, I got invited today to write an article for a kind of big pet website.
Oh, nice.
So that's going to be coming out here soon. But I'm kind of getting back into this. I really felt like a hypocrite the last year doing any raw diet stuff, and I was feeding my dog kibble.
Yeah, I can see why you would
And
feel like that.
I really fell off. And I'm not an expert. I'm not a PhD. I'm just a guy who did some research. And my platform on Facebook, that Dog Raw Diet and Nutrition, free and open discussion. That's what I made it. It was a platform for people to discuss all the different kinds of diets for dogs.
Well, I don't think you
Um,
should feel what was the word you used right now that you said you were
I
feeling?
kind of like I guess I was like a hypocrite if
Oh
I
yeah,
was
right,
telling
right.
people how to eat, but I was feeding kibble.
Yeah, but
So,
as long as you're being honest with the information that you're sharing, I think you
mhm,
there's no need to feel like a hypocrite because you're being honest with the information. And at the time, there was a situation that wouldn't allow you to keep doing with the way you were doing it. So you had to
exactly,
adapt. So
exactly.
I don't think you should feel that way. You should feel good for yourself because you've done a lot. I mean, 40,000. It's not a little bit.
Yeah, and
It's a big room full of people.
that raw diet community is kind of unique. It's very combative. So there's a lot of infighting, and if you suggest something, I guess I was nervous to say, hey, I'm feeding kibble. There definitely would have been some attacks there.
Definitely, for sure. I can see it.
And I was just trying to kind of avoid that. And in fact, I had some of my members say, where are you at? You're not making any content. So what I did was I went and I got two moderators, and they basically handled everything for me. And I was really hands off.
Awesome.
Last couple months, I said, I'm coming back. I have some material I'm working on. Uh, kind of, I guess, restarting this journey with my dog, going back to raw diet. I guess it's, revigorated my passion for this.
Yeah.
And this last year, it really had taken, I guess, I was focusing on other things. I have my TikTok account, which is not dog related. That was really getting all my extra time and energy.
Yeah. Uh, that's what I. That's the main thing I hate about this whole thing. How much
Hmm.
time consuming it is. But like I said at the beginning, we do what we got to do.
That's
And
I mean, and you only have so much time. You only have so much
of course,
energy. I mean, I work a full time job, and you get this much extra free time every day to do stuff.
Yeah, like me right now. I thought I wasn't gonna make it. I got home 4:50 my time, and
Uh-huh.
I was like, "Ooh, I'm not gonna make it. I'm gonna have to push it a little bit further back." But I was like, "No, I'll get there on time." And I just jumped in here because I was like, "All right, I got to do it." So,
Yeah, yeah.
so it's hard to try to maintain that energy to do what you want to do when you just get home from your 8, 10, 12 hour job that you've been over there, and it's
Exactly. And then, whenever you're putting in the effort too, and then sometimes you're not seeing any results, you're working hard, you're making content, and nothing's happening.
tell me
It it
about
it
it.
it really can be kind of disheartening, and but you just got to stay on it. I know, like a month ago, my TikTok really had like gone flat, and I was like, man, I don't know what's going on, but I just kept making my same content, and then this honestly has been probably one of my better months.
So you
I
just
think.
kept doing the same thing, like I mean, not the same thing,
Well,
but like the same genre, which we call it.
well, what I do is I do kind of like I do news content, but it's nothing serious. It's not politics. It's really kind of
That's
silly,
right.
funny news stuff. So if there's an oddball story that makes headlines, I make a video on it.
Okay,
And
okay.
this last month was actually a really good month. I mean, I think I'm almost like at 6 million views, for the last
Awesome.
28 days. So yeah, it's picked up.
Awesome, man.
Before that, it had dropped. But I'm just saying this to anyone listening. Like, if you're making content, don't give up. Just keep trying.
Yeah.
Find what works, and then just keep doing it.
Yes. And with that, we came back a full circle. We started on content and we ended on content, right?
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Hey, man. Well, I really appreciate your time, Steven. This was a lot of fun, and I've taken a couple nuggets that you threw at me that I'm gonna use as
Sardines,
sardines. Let's call them.
sardines, sardines. Okay, okay. Sardines. You could always add water to the kibble. Okay,
Okay.
so it's not so dry. That way, your dog's getting that moisture, or you could add things like some kind of broth or something to that kibble.
Mm.
You could feed an egg maybe once or twice a week,
Oh,
cooked or
okay.
raw.
Oh, okay.
Fish oil,
I,
fish oil supplement, and then just fresh scraps.
yeah.
Fresh fruits, fresh
Yes.
vegetables. If you're eating, something you think the dog could, give them a little bit of your human food.
Oh, that's what I was gonna tell you earlier, and I lost my train of thought. The other dog that I was telling you about that I have that she
Hmm.
passed away, I used to, I used to get on the table and get my watermelon. I used to cut it up in pieces, and she would be sitting right there next to me. Right, I would grab a piece
Hmm.
of watermelon, I would give it to her, and she would just be eating it right there, like the whole thing.
Yeah,
Um,
that little bits and scraps, it makes a big difference, because like I said, they're not getting those antioxidants from their kibble. Their omega 3s aren't balanced by the kibble. You giving fish oil, you giving sardines, you giving fresh fruits and vegetables, and it's going to really make the most out of your dog's health. You're going to get the most out of their life.
right, right, of course, yeah. I mean, as long as they're eating healthy and getting all the nutrients,
Yeah,
that's
I
what's
mean, you
important.
don't want to feed them like a slice of pizza or anything, within reason.
Right, of course. Oh, this is another
KFC,
question.
yeah.
I don't know if you've seen. What about feeding them like straight up sugar, like from what's it called? That foam that they put on Starbucks on top, the whipped cream.
You know,
Is that hell? That cannot be healthy.
it's not, and sugar's never good for your dog. They can't handle it the same way that we can. It's a lot harder on them. A puppuccino every now and then isn't going to kill your dog. I've done it before,
Oh.
but it's not good. And oftentimes it's just going to give your dog the shits. I
You
mean, they're going to have the runs afterwards.
you
So
knew exactly what I was talking about,
yeah,
right?
yeah, exactly.
I
Yeah,
forgot. I
yeah,
had forgotten the name.
yeah. Your dog's going to be super gassy, like if you give him a puppuccino. So
And she's already too much. Like
yeah,
every like hour we go outside. I take her outside to throw the ball at her so she can bring it back, throw it again. But then
yeah,
she has no end. She comes back. I come sit on the
yeah.
couch, and there she is right there again with the ball. Hey, let's go play.
That's
Let's
right.
go
Yeah.
play.
Yeah.
Well, that's
But
a
I mean,
sign.
also your dogs are only here for a little bit. I
Of
mean,
course.
they have to enjoy life too. Every now and then it's probably fine. It's probably not gonna
Yeah,
be.
yeah. Of course. They have a lot of energy, and that's a healthy sign, right? That's a
Yeah.
sign
Oh
that they're
yeah. Yeah.
healthy.
Sign
Yes.
of vitality.
Yes, of course. Well, go ahead and please, wherever this article is going to come out, it just when do you know when it's going to come out? The article that you're.
So I don't know if I can say
Oh, of
yet.
course.
I'm going to turn it in this week. I will definitely send it to you whenever it gets published.
Yes, please, so I can share it as
Okay.
well, please.
Okay.
And
Perfect.
you all go ahead and plug your you have a
All my
YouTube
stuff.
channel?
I do, and it's under the same name as my Facebook. So it's Steven Says Stuff.
Okay.
I do post content on there. Follow me on TikTok. My TikTok is Steven Says Stuff. That's probably my biggest platform by far is my TikTok page. It's not dog related, but I think you might learn something. I don't know. So I think some of them are kind of funny. And then my Facebook group, it's Dog Raw Diet and Nutrition, free and open discussion. Just join my group. And if you're interested in learning how to feed a raw diet, just join the group. I mean, I have so many people. I have vets, I have nutritionists, I have breeders, kind of like your friend that you mentioned, who have been feeding raw for 20 plus years. These people really know their stuff. So, and it plus if you have any other just dog questions, about dog health or anything dog related, training, those people in my group are some of the most knowledgeable dog experts you will ever find. So it's a great group to be a part of. It's a great resource if you ever need anything, any info. That's where I go. That's my go-to place for info. And then also my Instagram page, Dog Raw Diet and Nutrition.
Of course. Well, man, thank you. I really appreciate your time, and thank you very much. I don't have
Oscar,
any other
thank
words
you.
to
Yeah,
appreciate you, man. I really
I
do.
appreciate it. And I've been super impressed by your content. I was checking out your Spotify.
Oh,
I
thank
mean,
you.
you had some pretty impressive folks on there. I felt kind of intimidated coming on. I thought, man, he has PhDs on here. There was, I think, a Buddhist monk on there.
Yes, yes. You know what? You know what? Now that you're telling me this, I'm thinking back of all the people that I've talked to, and I'm like, you know what? Yeah, it has been impressive. But then when I go through a dry period where I can't find
Uh-huh.
anybody that I can have a conversation with, I start beating myself up. I'm like, this is not good. It's not going
No,
good.
man, you should be proud. And I was like, man, he's done 100 plus of these shows. This is super impressive. Just keep it up, man. I mean, I
Thank you.
really think you're going to hit something big here.
Thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Well, that's the goal. I mean, my thing right now is to maintain consistent. I try to do at least 3 a week. My
Mm-hmm.
previous goal was 4, but I completely failed it. So I reassessed, and I'm like, all right, 3 a week, and at the very least, I got to do two episodes a week. That's my goal.
Mm-hmm.
But I always try to shoot for four recordings a week and 3 episodes a week, but it
Yeah.
doesn't always work. But
Just stay consistent. Don't
of
give up.
course, of course, that's the key
Yeah,
right there, consistency.
that's right.
All right, Stephen. Well,
Well,
thank you
Oscar,
very
it,
much.
it was an honor being on here. I appreciate it. It was
As
fun.
well, as well. Thank you very much,
All
and
right.
have a good rest of the day, man. I really
You
appreciate you.
too.
Thank
You
you.
too.
All
Talk to you
right,
later.
talk to you
Thanks,
later.
Oscar.
No worries. Wow, Jesus Christ! What did I say? This is a wonderful conversation. I had a wonderful time, and thank you again, Reese, Stephen. I called you by his last name, like we already get along like that, right? I'm telling you, that's how fun this conversation was. But yeah, that's gonna be the word for today. With Jesus Christ, here we go. See, this is what I do. I mess up at the most important moment of the podcast, which is the closing time. I always ruin it. But give me. I'll hold off a second. The importance, like we were talking about, the importance of maintaining your nutrition, your health, and all that good jazz. It's quite important. But that's not it, and I ruined it. That was, jeez. Don't mind me. Don't mind me at all. I ruined this ending. This is gonna be great because I'm probably not gonna fix it. So I'm just gonna go off like that. So I'm just gonna keep saying thank you to my friend Steven because I'm trying to make up time, and I'm also because it's also because I'm very grateful for the time that he gave me out of his busy schedule to have this conversation. Um, but I think I got it. I think I got it. Let's see. Yes, I got. This is something that we're still learning the process of doing this, so I apologize. Bear with me. Hang in there with me. Thank you very much for giving me the time today. I really appreciate everybody. Thank you for listening. Thank you for all the downloads that I've been getting so far. All the 17 downloads. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Whether they're 17 or 5, I'm really taking them into consideration, so I appreciate it. Please also subscribe to the YouTube channel. Check out the website and all that good jazz. And again, thank you very much, everybody. And we're going to leave it at that today. So thank you very much. Deuces.